what I've done, I've set up a few ads. I'll give you control of that so you can have a look.
Okay. So these are all in draft here.
They are. Now, I did get an issue that popped up. It actually rejected one of the ads because it was in breach of Facebook policies. It said discrimination or age, etc., etc. And I did go through it, and I think the expression "granny" is kicking up a red flag.
Got it. Granny, as in it's falling under the naming of
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Okay. Have you published, though it said rejected, did you appeal it?
Yeah, so the last one said rejected. And at that point, I was in the process of compiling the rest of them.
Yeah, so what you should do is just click this and hit request review.
Okay.
Because
And that
culturally,
then,
yeah, because just since that's a common word, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that's a pretty typical thing to say. And
here all the time. Yeah.
yeah, so in that case, since Facebook has a standard wide system checker, it's just, I'm sure if we submit this, they'll approve it
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
because a human in that area will likely review it
Okay.
and be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty typical here, except.
Now, if you have a look at what I've done so far, right? If you look at the ad set campaign, yep. Now I've split it up into interests. Now the first one, you've got realestate.com.au, which is Australia's largest real estate website, right? Whoever's in the market, whoever's looking, whoever's looking at taking the next step, that's where they're going to go. So I did classify that as an interest. However,
Okay.
when I put the budget down to $10, it said to me, you're not going to get any leads. So what I did for each of them, it actually said that. So I had to play with the numbers to see when Facebook would actually turn around and say, yes, you'll get leads. And as you can see with one of them, it's $21. For two of them, it's $21. If I put 10, 11, 12, I even went up in 50-cent increments. It kept saying, no, you're not going to get any leads until those are the magic numbers that I hit.
Okay. Let's keep spin flat on these. So it's either, in that case, we want to bring it up to 21 across the board, or if you just want to standardize at 1250 and just see what happens with the, see if leads come through on those middle two, if they get pulled back. That numbers that you're looking at where it says 0 leads, that data is actually based off your ad account. It's not based off Facebook's information. So they're pulling numbers likely from your 2017s. So
Right.
it could be inaccurate information.
Okay.
So I think we might just, it would make more sense to just go ahead and standardize the budget across these. So if it's like 15 across, just to be in the middle here, or
Yep.
yeah, what do you think
So
about
now,
that?
good point. Now, the only concern was, okay, so that's addressing the budget, right? Now, what I did for each of these ad sets was within the ad sets, we're going to have two variations of the ad, aren't we? So, for example, for the one that you've got ticked, there's two ads for that with the different text and different pictures.
You got two here.
So two for all of them, basically. And they're all the same two.
Got it. All right.
Is that the best way forward? Because it does add to the budget a fair bit, especially during testing phase when we may not get any results.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah, that's fine. Let's just set the budget at a 15 on each of these.
Okay.
And then I would recommend doing another ad. I mean, you should probably do another ad variation in here just so that we have a few more options.
Okay.
So it's not like a 50-50 split where we're really hoping if one of these are going to work, let's do 1/3 one. So that way we can see.
Yeah, no problem.
And then that's good. These are good. Any specific reason why it's 20, 40, 40, 32?
Because one of them turned up in miles for some reason. The other one was kilometers.
Okay, what about 32 versus 40?
32 versus 40. Funnily enough, that was from a different location when I moved the pin. Because what I did was I looked at the map when it pulls up the map, and I was able to then gauge how far out I can actually go to service that client.
Got it. Also, granny flat. Size less than 3,050. That is one tiny audience.
Yeah, okay.
So we're just going to be watchful, be mindful of how quickly the spin goes.
So you're saying the smaller the audience, the quicker the spend will go?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna get either really costly, and these are gonna be super high quality leads because it's exactly what, I mean, if they like granny flats, then of course they must be qualified, right?
Yeah, you would
But if you're
imagine.
not getting any qualified, then cut it immediately because it's gonna spend money on reaching, just a few people a day, and that's risky.
Yeah, okay.
So just keep in mind of that. Yeah. So those are the two initial observation recommendations I'd make.
Sounds good, man.
And
So
then I would
basically,
also, you got to get, I would launch some more audiences as well.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here? Are we, which one is it? Is it this
So
one?
we were in non-CBO.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So I'd launch some more interest here.
More interest.
Duplicate. Yeah. Do some more interest.
Okay.
So like duplicate this. Are you on a set budget?
Man, yeah, I've got to be careful of budget here, only because of the time of year it is, COVID, no business going on. Government's helped out a little bit here and there, not that much. So I've just got to be very mindful.
Okay. Do we want to stick with the current budgets you have here and see what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think so, man. Now, when it
Perfect.
comes to more interests, what do you think is a good option given this niche market? I mean, we've got real
Well,
estate as an interest. We've got that website, the realestate.com as an interest. Then we've
yeah.
got flats themselves. I mean, investment could be another interest, which is a very open field. But when you say interest, you mean that people have specified what this interest is on their Facebook profile, correct?
Not necessarily. Facebook has a way of identifying when somebody has an interest in something. It could be that they just read articles on it all day long, and so
Okay.
therefore they have an interest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we can certainly add another one. And if we keep that budget low at 10, it's probably worth the test spend as well. So if we kept one interest as, say, investment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to standardize, put them at 15 here, that would, and you don't have, you could just run these to start.
Okay.
So that way you don't go any higher on your ad spend.
Okay.
Just start. And we can see initially what these results are going to look like.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Um, okay. So the fact that Facebook's saying that you may get 0 leads, that's just based on prior performance, past performance, right?
Correct. Now I can show you what that looks like here. Let's just do this real quick.
Yeah.
based on your campaign performance.
Yeah, there it is.
So, I mean, if you've only run campaigns in 2017, that's what this is based off. Past campaign data, the budget you entered, and market data.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much the main data it's working with is what you have so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the next step is really just to launch these.
Okay.
And in terms of people who have been contacting you in the area, I mean, you said it's been little to none just because of the times.
That's right. It's been none.
None.
Zero. Yeah.
Okay. But do you know if people still are?
Oh, there are people in the market, yes. So there are people. See, our inquiry rate comes down based on how active the market is and or how withdrawn they're actually being. So right now there is activity taking place. I do know a couple of estate agents who have been selling, and they're basically saying, look, it's probably 1/3 of what it was, a few months back. So it's dropped, but it's not to say there's zero activity. Just from my end, there's zero activity.
Okay. Yeah. So then it makes sense that to move forward with launching these just to start getting out there. For all we
Yeah.
know, your competitors are like virtually not even running any ads. So that could
Now,
be the opportunity.
funnily enough, I did do some research on competitors. There's a website, obviously, that you know of that you can go to where you type in the competitor's name, and it tells you what ads they're actually what ads they've got running at the moment.
This is the tool you've been using?
There was another one, but that is another one that's been mentioned. Yes.
So this one's Facebook's tool.
That's it. That's the one. That's
Perfect.
the one.
Do you want to go ahead and put one in here so we can just check it out?
Who was it?
Because there's a specific way we can really analyze these. There's more information that we can extract than just the face value that it shows. And you might already know or might not, and I'm going to show you. So this is a competitor?
This is a competitor, yeah, like top tier competitor.
Got it, okay. Let's see. So they started running their stuff. Breaking news, okay. Something to learn from. How far down did you go?
Man, I went down to what is relevant in my state, because a lot of these are not in my state.
Oh, but it's
Yeah.
filtered by Australia.
Yeah.
But you say your state?
Yeah, my
Meaning
state's
the, okay. Looks like it's not loading anymore. So do you see how these say November 21, 2019?
Yep.
So in most cases, if somebody's running an ad that long, it typically means it works. It's very rare where somebody's silly enough to keep something running for such a long time and it not work. So
Right.
the best way to learn is to see ads that have been going for such a very long period of time.
Okay.
So are any of these related to what you do? Some of these ads?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So this is more so an area that I haven't yet marketed. So this is your, knockdown rebuild of an old home and putting up a new one. See, that's another thing I wanted to chat to you about. I wanted to launch marketing in different stages. Right now, we're starting with guest homes or granny flats. The next one, I wanted to be, single and double story homes, which is exactly what we're seeing here.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I would take similar copy from what they have here and model it as well as the creative. You see how it's far out, zoomed out, it's clean.
Yep. Okay.
What's wrong with using that initial image you had?
The initial image I had was too small, too close.
The one where it was the
Hello, right?
the luxury residential home?
Oh yeah, that first one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you
we'll be
should.
using that when it comes to ads like this, because that first luxury home, that's not really conveying a guest home. That's more an actual main dwelling. So that's sort of an image we'll use when we go on a campaign where we're constructing full-size houses as opposed to just guest homes.
Got it. Okay. So is there a case where you can use or model anything similar to this with what you're currently wanting to run?
No. So should I show you a company that's doing what I'm currently doing marketing right now?
Yep.
Yep. So I'll have to refresh it. Oh, so these guys don't have any ads running. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing here.
Ah, nothing here. Nothing here. One. So they're advertising a sale.
Okay, can you pull up some more? Because this one's been running for about a month or more, but it's not enough info, I'd say. There,
Yep.
for all we know, it could be running at just a few dollars a day, which means it doesn't, take much to keep it alive for a month.
Mm. one.
All right, this one was recently launched. Let's keep scrolling down. Looks like we have some in January. Oh, we got one in December. So this one's been running for a long time. June 7th. I mean, that's nearly a full year. 5 common myths about granny flats, backyard grannies.
Yes, selling information, selling it on the information.
Let's check it out.
So
Okay, so this isn't very obvious where you need to go from here.
it is, isn't it?
There we go. So the contact us is right there.
Yeah.
How relevant is this to you and what you
100%,
do?
all of it.
I'd say
Um,
model something similar to this,
okay.
whether it's 7 common myths, 10 common myths, and like completely model what they're doing. I mean, straight up word for word, strip it. And then just add in more because that's where you break the value barrier. So in competition sakes, as long as you have one extra than them, we
Yep.
can win.
Yep.
And if it's been running a year, it's been working. Now, see, it did take us a while to get to this, but I mean, like, imagine if we hadn't have done all those searches and you hadn't have known all these companies. There's no
That's right.
telling.
That's
So
right.
like a lot of times we can save so much money just by not necessarily having to come up with our own ideas, but just looking at what's out there and working. I mean, that's just, the fact of life in business. I mean, whoever can optimize something to be better wins.
Yeah.
Just being competitive, and we can outbid these guys very quickly and win without spending any more money, but just get more leads based off their model, except expanding upon it and making it better.
Yep. So the fact that it's been running since 2019 is a big giveaway to say that it works.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you
Yeah.
just don't run an ad that long. Even at a small budget, just the fact that it's been a year, it's
Mhm.
gonna be, it's gonna add up, right?
Yeah.
So in order to be doing something that long, it's a key indicator that it's working. And if we look at impressions high to low, it looks like this one from December's getting the highest number of impressions. Impressions don't necessarily mean much, but in this case, we could see if it's the one getting the most. And you can also see here, look what they just launched it again in May 16
Yeah.
of 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like barely any difference between these two.
There's really not.
I don't even understand. I guess like right here, there's this thing gets lapped over, but we know it works because they're using it again this year.
That's right.
And they have multiple variations of it too.
Actually, they're not even in my region, to be honest with you. They're in the same state, but they're about 200 kilometers away.
Well, that's
So
even better.
they're not going to build in Sydney.
Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah, amazing.
So I would just take exactly what's going on here and follow that model.
So that then also requires me to add a blog post to the website. True?
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
a blog post and you drive them there, and at the very bottom it works. I mean, we do something very similar. We don't send them to a specific blog, but we send people to all of them. When you click on it, you scroll down, it guides people into the direction of the funnel, which in this case is just going to be a contact form for you. So yeah, you can follow the same format. So I'd build that out. I mean, we know it works here. I mean, this is one, it's there from 2019 and boom, they just reconfirmed it by relaunching it just 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, it's like when you rerun a campaign, I mean, that's really means it's working,
Yeah.
right? Because like, why launch these other ads and then all of a sudden come back with one of your oldest running ads? That's
right.
like every indicator we need to know that it is working.
Okay.
So that's great to know.
Amazing.
Let's see if we can get some more details out of it. I mean, if we do, So yeah, I mean, it's all going here. Yeah. So I just follow that.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Cool. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's perfect. And then also the image, it's very obvious. It's bright, colorful. And I mean, this is a granny flat.
That's right.
So I mean, it's about as
It's
close as it
actually
comes.
it's actually a very cheap granny flat, man. The fact that makes it look good is because it's in front of a swimming pool. That's it. If you had that standalone, it's a very cheap build. It's not even a
If it was a, yeah, if it was a standalone, it'd look like a shanty.
exactly right. Ah,
So, I mean, there you go. You could probably outdo it just from you saying that. So, I mean, if you have a piece of content that you could use, and who's to say that you have to use your own, like your own images?
that's right.
I mean, is there a specific site you use for stock?
Yeah, I've got Adobe stock.
Can we check it out?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Because we could very easily like grab all the pieces we need now, and then you'll have everything you need to
Perfect, man.
build essentially something that's going to get you way ahead of
Yep,
these people.
sounds great.
Even better, they're not even in your area. So that allows you to control your market.
Go for it, champion.
So in this case, it would just be granny flat, right? So if you want to, I don't think I have keyboard access. So if you just feel free to type in that. So this is videos. We could probably try images. It's probably pulling in that keyword granny, but that's okay.
We'll type guest home as well and see what pops up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's
Did you
try
want to
that.
have a scroll, or
I'm sorry.
do you want to have a scroll? Because I don't want to be messing with the mouse pad while you're there.
Yeah, you can do guest house. Go ahead.
Yep. See, what about that image with a couple and she's wearing the yellow, for example? Second one down on the left.
This one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inviting. You could certainly test it, but just to follow what this was, this portion,
Right. Yeah.
we'd probably be better off if we do backyard. It's like a villa.
Man, is the sound of me vaping coming out really loud at your end or not? Is it okay?
No, it's not that at all. We could also do, we could go back to granny flat just to see. You'd think a granny flat obviously means in the backyard, but I think we have to have that keyword. So look who shows up for that. I mean, backyard granny, how
Exactly.
fortunate
Yeah.
to have gotten that. So let's see here. We could also do like stock. And look at that. Type in the keyword stock and look what shows up.
Yeah.
Central Coast Designer. So that's not even their website, remember?
Smart.
So
Yeah.
this must mean that this image likely isn't theirs to begin with.
Yeah.
So they've obviously followed this as well. So I mean, what you could do is Getty Images is probably going to charge an arm and a leg, but let's just see if it pulls up. No, it doesn't. Another option is, let's just do this real quick. Facebook's actually partnered with Shutterstock, which provides all free images to Facebook people. Most people never knew that. I didn't know it for the longest time, but they actually have a partnership and you can access all of Shutterstock stuff for free.
Amazing.
Like one of the biggest ones. So we're not going to actually edit this, but I'm just going to do it for an example.
Yeah.
It's right here, stock photos. All of these images are actually paid for. Facebook already got them.
Right.
So we could just, and if it's here, we know we can use it in most cases. It says this, but we'll confirm. So we might have to play around with this for a little bit. You might have to just keep testing on different keywords that might populate something.
Certainly will.
Oh. Seems to be backyard needs to be in this. Are any of these reasonable? I can't really see from my end, but it might be closer on yours.
They're not. They're more so just showing backyards and the way the main dwelling looks from the back, as opposed to being backyard homes.
Any of these?
Nah, none of them.
So yeah, you'll just have to keep trying until you finally run across an image, but we know exactly what you need to look for.
So I'll find that image. I'll then create the blog, which I'll do today, add it to the website, which shouldn't take me too long. And then the actual ad that I make, what's the audience going to be? Is it going to be open? Or are we going to target the audience with interest as well?
Yeah, so once you get that set up, what you could do is you could launch an ad with it in a separate campaign. Since you have a lead gen campaign,
Yep.
you would launch one that's a conversion campaign for leads. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. So the audience is going to be who?
You can do the same audiences if you want to test it. It's just that you have to set up a different campaign to do it.
Okay. Tell me, man, moving forward, right? I mentioned to you very briefly that that I want to be rolling out this marketing in stages, right? Obviously, start with the most simple type of dwelling, which takes the shortest amount of time to construct, which are these guest homes, right? Then the next one that I wanted to do was single and double story homes, yeah? Then the one after that is your duplex and townhouses, which are a higher density, right? Rolling out each of these, how do you think is the best way or the best approach to do that and to pull that off?
By most commonly which ones ever have the highest conversion rates for you. So whichever ones you've done the highest number of deals for in order. You just
Okay,
follow that
so
sequence.
yeah, that's exactly what we're doing now. So we're starting with the guest homes. I've never marketed single and double story homes. All the work that I've got constructing those has all been through word of mouth. So now I sort of feel as though I'm meant to increase that capacity and output. It's going to have to be marketed.
Yeah. So I'd
So
follow that model.
yeah, man, I'm telling you, if this works and if it looks like it's already going to, I'm more than happy to keep engaging you, man. Even post that, 100 and 140 sessions or whichever it was. Um, I'm happy to keep it rolling, man. Honestly, because what you're providing right now to me is so valuable. You've got no idea. Like, you're helping me streamline the process, and we've only just gotten started.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much we can only imagine.
There is. And every campaign, like whether it be guest homes or single and double story homes, everyone is going to be so different, and targeting a different audience. It's going to need its own refinement within once it's tested. So yeah, happy to keep going, man.
Well, great. That's awesome to hear. Yeah. So, I mean, like we have this portion. We got those other budget portion that you're going to launch, and then quite honestly, you could wait to launch those and have this all set up first if you really want to like prep. And then it's going to be about, if you're going to start releasing those others, it depends on timeline wise if you want to do them sooner than later. But I mean, if you know this is the one that's converting already with the highest volume of deals you've done has been the Granny Flats, then I'd test that initially
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
start.
I think that's the best way, man. Because look, to be honest with you, as soon as I see an ROI, because as you know, it takes one closed sale to get that ROI. Then I'm more than happy to just repump it back in marketing.
Right. Yeah.
Bringing on people to do the work is no issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really good problem to have when you're looking at growth. And right now, anything is going to be considered growth, even just at one.
Absolutely.
But see, the only thing I didn't want to do, I didn't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in order to get that one sale, because of the time involved in the whole thing as well. So I think I mentioned to you yesterday that even one lead from here, that's a 45-minute to 1 hour conversation with the client on the phone, and there's still no guarantee because they're shopping around, or they're, you know what I mean, they've got so many options before them that if I get 40 cold leads and I'm spending an hour on the phone with them, you can imagine, like, that's 40 hours of work right there.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of also trying to figure out a way to streamline that process based on the volume of leads, or ensure that we get the highest quality leads, so we're already a step towards getting that sale.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that makes sense. And that's also something that, just with the times, that is going to be a scenario that's likely to, have to push through until the
Yeah.
messaging is really fine tuned and maximized.
Yeah.
So the good thing is we could skip a lot of the hard work just by modeling these.
Yeah. True. Okay.
Yeah. Because this one, it looks like they just pulled this off like a conveyor
Stock.
belt and dropped it off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And most of these images look like that, man. Even look at the one next to it on the left. Same sort of thing.
Yeah. They just knocked out the bricks on it underneath.
Man, it's funny that these, yeah, that's right. And these aren't even like high quality homes, man. Like, these are fibro sheeted homes. Whereas what I'm constructing is actually brick. So even just that
Yeah. Because this part here, they're increasing in, their investment from what they're making of renting these out, right?
That's right. Spot on.
But their property value might not go up significantly. It could be like, what the hell is this in the backyard? A shed?
That's exactly right.
For when they sell. So it's kind of it's a short-term thinking model here with what they're doing.
Mm,
Yours is much longer term. It's like, look, you're not only getting a good investment from this of people coming in and you renting it out to them, but if you ever decide to sell this property, it's going to go up in value.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, that's your extra UVP you have over these people.
But the question then becomes is how do you convey that in an ad? You know what I mean?
You can. So I mean, like you just say, have you thought about increasing your this question and increasing blank, where you're talking about the property value overall?
Oh,
They're saying property investment yield. I don't know if I don't believe they're referring to their actual property. Hopefully not. But the yield they're bringing from owning their property and renting this out. In your case, it would be both. So you just throw in the and sign there and add in that piece.
Oh,
So now
simple
you
as
got
that.
the extra. Yeah. Yeah, it's best to keep it simple.
Okay.
Don't do any of these. No need to do hashtags.
Actually, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, no hashtags. It takes them away from the
Yeah.
ad. You spend money, they click on the hashtag, and now they're away from your own ad.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting that some of their ads are only going to Facebook as opposed to instant Facebook.
Yeah. So that's another thing. You have the benefit of being able to run it on all placements, which means you can stay in front of them more often.
Is that irrespective of the fact that my Insta page hasn't got very many followers yet because I've just started building it out?
So I wouldn't worry too much about it because you have to start somewhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as it's growing, it'll also help with your conversions. But I mean, just to start, you might want to like get out some initial content on there. So you just have something there.
Okay.
And quite honestly, you could do something as if like it's a launch. So a lot of times with small pages, the best way to like just convey credibility is doing one post where have you seen like it's one image across like 6 like squares?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Just do that. And when people go to visit the Instagram, it's like, oh, it's a new company. Rather than just like posting a few, then it looks kind of like, oh, is this legit? But if you just do like a bulk post of those 6 that
Yep.
actually cover one full-sized image, it looks like an actual launch of a legit company. So
So
that's the
you're referring
credibility.
to split pics, right?
What is it?
Split pics?
Uh, I'm not sure of the app, but probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe we understand we're on the same page there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's like this. It's like an image, like say it's this image, but it's one square here, one square here.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that you said that because I've already done that.
Oh, perfect. There you
I
go.
love it. Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
got
So I mean,
about
like,
40, 50 posts up already. Some of them are split. And yeah, man, it makes a big difference. And it makes your Insta page really pop as well.
right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, perfect. There you go. So yeah, then you already got that base covered.
Yeah, amazing. Now, a couple of questions before we call it a day, because I know we're coming up to the time period now. With the pixel event tracking, I went
Yes.
through the process. I did everything. There was one page, however, that didn't allow me to track any pixels on there,
Okay.
and that is when it was on duplex and townhouses. It didn't even give me an option. So as soon as I clicked on that page, the Facebook toolbar that comes up that allows you to select the button or the action that you're trying to track, that window just went away. If I'd go to another page, that window would come back. So it was just on that one window, on that one page, that it wouldn't allow me to do anything on.
Okay.
And that's so significant now, but it will be when we get to marketing, higher density properties, because there won't be any tracking happening on that page. And I thought if we could sort that out now, so we don't have to look at pixel tracks again,
Yeah,
event
let's see
tracking.
it.
Okay, you might be able to expedite it. How did we end up pulling it up? We went into, it was through Facebook, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it's gonna be under.
Event, yeah.
And then what's the page?
The page was that's strange. Because right now we're in Safari, whereas that was done in Google Chrome. So give me one sec. Can I take control of the mouse? I'll just flip it over.
Go ahead.
Yeah, boom, okay. Open event setup tool. I'll take you to the page. So this you can see is all there, right? We've got the eyes on there to say, yes, that's done. But as soon as we go down to duplex and townhouses, you'll see that this window goes away. Oh no, it's back now. Okay, maybe it was just in the error loading at that point.
Perfect.
So I'll track that URL. View content, confirm. Let's track the button. That'll do. I'll be able to go back and won't take up your time doing this. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, as long as you go through those steps, I'll also send you this recording so that way you have it.
Yeah, man, amazing. Steps. I'll get these. Facebook won't have an issue. What if there's a problem with their approval of it?
Just appeal it. Yeah, just appeal it.
Yeah.
It
They
should get
won't.
approved. No,
And what
because
if
those other people are running it.
Exactly right.
Makes sense. Since they're doing it, you should likely be able to do it too.
Okay. How long should we leave it? How long if I get those listings out there and approved, let's say in the next 24, 48 hours, how long should we leave it before we reconvene?
Well, it really
What sort of
depends. I mean,
results
like,
would be?
with e-commerce, it's like we could pretty much do within a few days. But in this case, I mean, like, this is it's a bigger ticket item. The market's in a different place than what it used to be in at. There's also new campaigns you're launching. So, I mean, it's really tough to say initially. I would say that, I mean, depending on what your budget is, you're going to have to look for how many people are contacting you through the, if you get any leads, then that's a tall tale sign that, hey, maybe, it'd be smart to reconvene. But if nothing happens after a good week, I mean, it would be important to reassess.